Hey guys, welcome to yet another video. So I don't know if I should classify this as good news or bad news. At the end of the day, you guys get to decide if it's good news or bad news. Finally, the advisory committee has published the shortage occupation list for 2023. This is a usual review that goes on in the UK labour market. So the government sort of assigned this whole process to the advisory committee. So the whole report is now out. This was published on the 3rd of October 2023. I'll be talking about the jobs that is finally on the shortage occupation list and what they are talking about regarding the shortage occupation list, because the advisory committee does not feel like there should be a shortage occupation list. I'm like, okay. And also recently, Minister for UK Immigration was talking about carers not being allowed to come to the UK. I'll talk about this one at the end of the video. So hey guys, welcome and welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're new or seeing my face for the very first time, my name is Faith Ojone, and on this channel I talk about my life here in the UK. I talk about things happening in the UK, and once in a while I share information on how you can move to other countries as well. So if these are the kind of content that interests you, do hit the subscribe button down below, turn on your notification bell so you do not miss any of my videos. Without saying so much, let's get started. Before I talk about the main topic for today, I've been getting a lot of these comments and I would like to address it. So some of you leave comments saying that you don't understand my accent or which tribe in Nigeria my accent sounds like, even though I feel like it is not relating to whatever I'm talking about on the channel. But since you're interested in my accent, okay, I would like to share a little information. Personally, I feel like I sound like someone from the northern part of Nigeria. Though I am not Hausa, neither am I from the north, but I'm from the middle belt, which is very close to the northern parts of Nigeria. So we're in the middle, which is like the Kogi, the Benue. This is how I sound like even in person. If you're speaking to any Hausa person, you can compare the accent. So everyone has an accent. I grew up in the north. I'm a typical Hausa person. I would consider myself as a northern, and to be honest, I love them. They are my people. Hausa was the first language I learned how to speak even before speaking English. So it is fine. It is normal for me to have Hausa accent. Forget that I'm in the UK. My accent cannot change. I am too old to start changing accents now. So this is how I speak. I hope I've answered that question. Anyway, moving on to the topic for today. Like the previous review of the shortage occupation list, they use like an online questionnaire like to gather response from calls for evidence. This method helps the Immigration Advisory Committee to organize the information they receive from businesses on the job that they think should go on the shortage occupation list. So the questionnaire was open, that was in February 27 till May 26. I made a video about this, which I talked about that the advisory committee is informing all employers to come and fill out the questionnaire so that they can decide on which job should go on the shortage occupation list. They got about 111 responses from 3 groups of individual organizations and representative body and other personal people. Regarding the RFQ level 1 to 2, they were considered for inclusion on the shortage occupation list as per the government guidance. Such recommendations were very rare because it is not like a higher qualification RFQ. So they required a stronger evidence to assess if these occupations that falls under the RFQ level 1 to 2 should be on the shortage occupation list. So the committee used a triage process. The process involves evaluating response mentioning the RFQ level 1 to 2 occupation against a specific criteria, which includes if there's a clear evidence of a shortage in this occupation, if there's a reason why domestic workers can't fill in these jobs in the UK, if there are efforts to address recruitment challenges. They asked all of these questions during the triage process, and they were able to review only few jobs based on the answered the gods from the triage questions. If most of them answered no, their occupation will not be eligible to be considered to be part of the shortage occupation list. Out of all of these, only 12 occupations passed the triage process, and then they were considered alongside the other RFQ level 3 plus occupation for the inclusion on the shortage occupation list. When they've assessed all of these occupations, they published their reports on the 3rd of October 2023 and listed occupations that they feel should be on the eligible occupation list, and also listed occupations that were submitted to be included on the shortage occupation list, but they personally feel that they shouldn't be included. So the Migration Committee went ahead to write a letter to the government. When I went through the whole report, I feel like they were not even trying to add any job on the shortage occupation list. Honestly, they were not, because they listed a whole lot of occupation. They agree that these sectors are struggling with skilled migrants and they can put them on the shortage occupation list. But one of the reasons they give that they are not including some of these occupations on the shortage occupation list is due to exploitation. Yes, the care worker visa is already on the shortage occupation list and they are being exploited, and the government is not doing anything so far, or have not done anything so far. So if they add more of the job that has the tendency of exploiting migrants, then that means it's going to be crazy. So they feel like that issue has not been resolved. It will not make any sense to still add more jobs in sectors that have the tendency of exploiting migrants. So that's why some of these jobs are not being added. So they went ahead to send a letter to the government. According to the letter, the government want them to go through the skilled worker rules, but they stopped because they don't know what the government wants. So they started again in March 2023, talking to many different groups of people. The biggest challenge this time is that they think no employer should pay workers less than a certain amount, even if they can't find enough workers, which means most of the jobs on the shortage occupation list are paying workers lower, which a lot of workers want to put their occupation on the shortage occupation list so that they can be paying lower fee, and that's why they feel like it is not okay. So the amount is called the ongoing rate, and what they think most people in a job should earn. This rule is to protect workers from being paid too little and to stop migrants from being taken advantage of, because they pay them little and they still take advantage of them. So that is one of the challenges they are seeing. So because of this rule, many jobs can't be considered for the shortage occupation list anymore. They also didn't include jobs with set national pay scale, because the only good thing about being on the list is that the salary rules are easier. This is getting juicier. So they suggested adding 8 jobs to the list for the whole of UK and 2 jobs for Scotland. They know this is not a lot, even though there aren't enough workers in many jobs, but they explain that in their reports. Even though the government said they could look at a job that didn't need much training, they decided not to look at jobs that did not need training. So the people who do these jobs didn't show enough proof that they tried to hire people in the UK, and they were worried they might not be treated fairly. They think low-wage jobs are where workers are treated the worst, especially migrants on skilled workers routes who need a company to stay in the UK. Thank you, Migration Committee, because you guys are just fantastic. And they intentionally refuse to add most jobs to shortage occupation list because they feel like there's a problem somewhere and the government is not addressing it. They also want care workers to stay on the shortage occupation list because there's a big problem in that field and the government hasn't done much to fix them, which the government needs to fund the social care sector, which they are not doing. So for now, they will keep watching how the immigration system is used for care jobs and talk more about it later this year. In their report, they have some ideas on how to make the list better, and they are not sure if it's a good idea to keep it. So, advisory committee wants to scrap the shortage occupation list, guys. They think it makes it easier for low-wage jobs to bring in workers from other countries, and that is not good for the UK. So they are suggesting the list to be renamed. Yep, the list to be renamed to Immigration Salary Discount List, since that is what the shortage occupation list is about. Because honestly, if an occupation is on the shortage list, they pay lower salary. So to make it clearer what it is for, so if the government wants to keep the list as it is, they will check it again in 2024, but they need to decide on some things by January 2024 for that to happen. So they are looking forward to the government to respond to their letter on what they want them to do and the best advice. So this is getting juicier and funny. So the long and short of the whole story is that the Immigration Advisory Committee does not want to add some jobs to the shortage occupation list because the care job they added to shortage occupation list are exploiting migrant workers. They are suffering. So many things are going on, and the government has not yet done anything. I remember when the government reached out to them to, check the rules around skilled worker migrants. I know that the immigration committee suggested that the government should create an umbrella organization, which would be the one issuing COS directly, not the employer, so that employers do not have so much power to threaten migrant workers and treat them badly. But the government did not say anything about that. So, I mean, for me, it is a good news. I know for other people who are outside the UK will see this as a bad news because they are not adding some jobs to the shortage occupation list. But anyway, they review a lot of jobs, I think 66 occupation or so, and they added 5 to the shortage occupation list. So good news for care workers. So if you're a senior carer, a home carer, all of those carer, you guys are still on the shortage occupation list. So here are jobs that they added to the shortage occupation list. So they added animal care service. They also added laboratory technicians, sommeliers, that's waiters and waitresses, to be RFQ level 3 within the existing code. The Migration Advisory Committee are satisfied that this should be added to skilled worker routes. I'm going to leave the link to the reports in the description box below so that you can go read it and get the detailed information for yourself. In general, these are all the occupations that were added to the shortage occupation list: laboratory technicians, pharmaceutical technicians, bricklayers and masons, roofers, roof tilers and slaters, constructions and building trades, animal care service occupation, care workers and home carers, senior care workers. And in Scotland, they added managers and proprietors in forestry, fishing and related services. They added boats and shipping builders and repairers, construction operatives, waiters and waitresses to the list as well. Minister for Immigration UK said that he wants to cancel the care worker visa. This is conflicting because Migration Committee is saying that carers should be on the shortage occupation list. Minister for Immigration is saying that they want to cancel the carer visa routes because it's letting in a lot of migrants, and is advising its citizens in the UK to have more children so that these children will take care of them when they are old, instead of bringing in migrant workers from overseas to take care of their old elderly people. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section. If you're living in the UK, are you going to be having more kids? The whole conflicting information, these people, sometimes when I read these things, they're just making me laugh. But anyway, you know how the UK rolls. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. All the information to everything I've spoken today is in the description box below. And thank you so much for watching. We have come to the end of this video. If this video was helpful, give it a thumbs up. And guys, I will see you in my next video. Bye.